Hello today. This is Amanda Mertz at Did You Stamp Today, and I'm going to be doing stamping live. We're going to use the upcoming new Fluffy Squirrel stamp set and punch, matching punch. These are products that are going to be in the upcoming September to December mini catalog. So coming out soon, available to order on September 3rd. And just let me get my other screen up to make sure I can see comments, if I can pay attention while I'm doing it. Here we go. Let's see if I can expand the screen, make sure everything is up. Just wanted to do a couple of announcements. If you're local to me, don't forget to RSVP today for a class on the 26th for Stamp Club. You can come to the 9:30 or the 7. I still have spots available. The next thing is the In Color sale that's going on for the rest of August, which is 15% off the 2025-2027 group of In Colors. Great deal if you still need to get reinkers or ink pads or stock up on some paper of your favorite colors. Check that out. Yesterday, Stampin' Up announced a big kind of product change. So just really quickly, there'll be more details coming out. I'm sure there's on a lot of blogs now, but I'll be posting something also on my blog. My customers got an email newsletter from me yesterday with details, but basically they have announced that they are discontinuing the red rubber cling stamps, starting with the November online exclusive release. So they will no longer be making red rubber stamps. They will all be photopolymer, the clear ones. So I know that's disappointing for a lot of people who have been stamping for a long time and have enjoyed the high quality of the red rubber stamps. Personally, I don't really pay that much attention when a new catalog comes out, which is red rubber and which is photopolymer. I use both. Pretty much no difference for me, but it's sad to see that long time product is going, but they've explained that it's been really hard for them to get raw materials to produce them, and any alternatives that they looked at really just did not meet the high quality standards that Stampin' Up has always had. So they've decided to, instead of it just being one day that they can't get anything and just all the red rubber just is gone out of the blue, they've decided to pick a date that they know that they can produce up until that date, and then just that they've made the business decision to do that, as opposed to it just being thrust upon them when suddenly all the raw materials are no longer available. So there's that. Along with that, Stampin' Right markers, the little skinny markers, are also being discontinued. They have told us that there have been quite a bit declining sales for that product since the introduction of Stampin' Blends, and one of the main techniques that are used with the Stampin' Right markers is coloring directly onto the red rubber stamps and stamping. And since the red rubber stamps are going away, this kind of seems like a good time to discontinue those products. They're on the last chance list now, so they are being retired. So right now they are while supplies last. So if you still have colors or color families that you still want to get, you can't get them individually, but you can get them in the packs and then in the In Color packs as well. So if you want to complete those collections, definitely get those soon. And then the next thing they announced, which is kind of, I think it's exciting, is a new packaging for stamps and die sets. So the current stamp sets come in the DVD style cases. They will be changing that to more of an envelope style like the dies come in currently. So everything will be a uniform package. So dies will be in the same size sleeve as the stamp set. So you'll be able to store the two easily together with a rubber band, or just, file them together in however your storage system is. They are a little bit bigger than the current stamp set. So I cut out a piece of cardboard to show. So the current size, did I write it down? It's like 5 5/8 by 9. So they're taller, and just in comparison to what a stamp set is, I'll line those two up. If you can see, I'll pull it back. So it's a little bit wider than the DVD case and a little bit taller. So that just gives you an idea. So those sleeves will be thinner. You know, obviously they'll be like, you know, just a clear pocket. They'll have artwork inside with the dies, which is a new thing because the dies just come with the paper sleeve and you don't know what the shapes look like until you pull it all out. So they'll have the artwork for the dies and then the stamp sets like they've always had. So it will be nice to have uniform packaging for all of that. So I think that's it for the announcements. Oh, new mini catalog. I mentioned that right at the beginning. I have my catalogs. They're available for porch pickup if you're local to me. You know where that is. I am going to have them available at class. So if you're coming to class next week, I'll have them then, as well as, you know, upcoming classes in the next couple months. And then a good portion of my out-of-towners have had their catalogs mailed to them. If you don't receive them in the next week or two, please reach out and see if I sent them to you. Some people had incomplete addresses or opted out for contact, so that means I could not send them to you directly from Stampin' Up. So let me know if you're interested still in getting one, and I will get one mailed out separately to you. And I think that's it. So let me swap out the camera angle, and then we can get to the fun stuff, the stamping. Let me put this back over here. And let's see, let's turn it. Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. I don't know what I did. I hit the wrong button. This is not going well, huh? Let's see. There we go. So you can see my ceiling and up my nose. And here we go. Let me just see if I can zoom in a little bit and get it lined up. I think that's going to be as good as we're going to get. So, like I said, we're going to be using the Fluffy Squirrel. Has some very nice, cute little images and some little accents and a few sentiments to use along with the punch. And we're going to get started. So the color combination that I chose for this project might look familiar to some of you who are on my customer Facebook page. I have a private group for customers that you can join to share your projects, and people share, you know, like they have somebody in their family that's turning 100 and they want to shower them with cards. So they'll post that, and then we can all send a card to their family member, or charity card drives where they're looking for cards for kids who are in foster care, that you can send a pack of birthday cards to them so that they can all get birthday cards. So it's a nice little group, and it's fun to see everybody's projects that they're working on. And every other week I put up a challenge to my customers to a color combination or a layout to just get their inspiration started and maybe spark some stamping at home. And this is the color combination that I have for currently. I think there's a new one coming out maybe tomorrow. I have to look and see what my dates are, but we've got Night of Navy, Granny Apple Green, and Melon Mambo. So I've got Night of Navy base, and let me get out my tools that I know I'm gonna need. I'm gonna try really hard to get things lined up and straight without getting my head in the shot. I usually lean right over. And these patterns you may recognize or you may not. They are kind of hidden. They are both still current. Both are still on the last chance list. The pretty in pink one is the Marbled Elegance 12x12 specialty paper. It's got the gold swirls through the pinks and reds, and it came out for, you know, kind of Valentine's Day this past February, and that is currently on sale on the last chance list for $13.20, so a whole big 12x12 pack of that. And this is paper that is the fruit salad that was a celebration reward this past year that they've put on the last chance list to clear out inventory, and that whole pack at 6x6 is $7.50. So these were the only current colors that I could find in these challenge colors that had pattern to them. So we're just gonna do the Granny Apple Green panel. We're gonna do that on the background. And I kind of chose these colors, one, because I hadn't made a card with them yet. I challenged customers to use them, and I hadn't, oops, you know what I did? That's not going to work. I'm getting ahead of myself. I guess we're gonna put that on first. Scissors. I know. I'm gonna try to do this live series every week. We'll see how it works out. The last time I tried to schedule lives and do them regularly, I did one, and then the next time I got on to do it, Facebook gave me such problems that I don't know what was going on. And it was for like several months that every time I tried to go on to do a Facebook Live, it just, you guys know how Facebook is. It was just like so much trouble and work, and it just kept denying me and saying that I wasn't like approved. And I'm like, goodness sakes, I'm like, I've had this Facebook account for business forever and ever, and it was just like, it was maddening. So I just kind of gave up on Facebook Lives for a while and put up a couple videos on YouTube, but this is just kind of, we're giving it another go. So you guys have to hold me accountable to make sure that I schedule something every week. I'm going to try to do every day at the same time, just so you know when to expect it. And of course, if you can't be here live, you can always just watch it again. It'll be up for 30 days, and I may or may not put them on my Facebook page, but it is going to be what we're going to try. So we're going to try. So that's going to be our card base, and I'm going to have this piece is going to be our insert. So we're going to set that aside for now. And I've got 2 panels that I've already die cut, just because my die cutter is behind me, and it's just, nobody wants to see me die cut live. That's just no fun. So I've used the, what I keep forgetting, Textured Notes dies. So they're just the fun set of rectangles that have the fun edges. So I've pre-cut those. This is the one I'm going to mount my squirrels on once I get those stamped. And then this one I've already done the sentiment. It's embossed, and it's can't wait to see you again. So it's a sweet little sentiment. Again, I'm going to set that one aside. And let's do our stamping. I'm going to stamp both squirrels, and we're going to do a little, I don't even know if you can consider it a technique if you've been stamping a long time or not, but we're going to do the outlines in, let's see, go up a little bit so y'all can see. We're going to do the outlines in Early Espresso. And both of the fill-ins are going to be, let's see, there's my other ink pads. I thought I had it all organized. No such luck, right? And we're going to do the other ink. It's going to be Pecan Pie. I'm going to get a little scrap paper here to stamp off. This one we're not. We're going to do the one facing this way. So this is the one that matches the punch. So you see how he's facing to the right. So that lines up when you go to punch. The other one faces to the left, and it does not match the punch, but you don't have to, it's easy enough to fussy cut. So don't worry about that if they both don't match. So I'm going to stamp off. Oh, nope, that wasn't what I was going to do. We're going to stamp off the other one. So this one we're going to line up. I'm going to try to get my head enough that I can see to line up. So once you have the stamp set, and you'll be able to see how to line it up. So like the eye is cut out, and there's like a little cutout for the ear. So I've been lining up the tail and then making sure the eyes and the ear pieces line up with the outline stamp. And let's see how I do going from kind of the side so I don't stick my head right over the camera. Oh, look at that. Better than I thought I might do. But now this is the one we're going to do for stamping off. I'm going to stamp off, and that will give this one a little bit of a lighter look. And again, I'm going to line up the little ear hole and the little eye hole and line up where the tail is. There we go. So then we've got a light squirrel and a dark squirrel. And we're going to give the little light squirrel a little bit of an alteration. So the technique that I was talking about that I don't even think you can consider a technique anymore is the stamping off. Like that's just comes just so natural that I don't even think of it as a technique, but it is. So it's a great way to get the same color, but a little bit lighter. It's like the two-tone cardstock. You've got the full ink strength, and then the other side is a little bit lighter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give this little squirrel a couple little eyelashes. You see? So that's the one I'm designating as the little girl squirrel. And I'm going to punch this one out. So you'll see also on the punch, you've got another shape on there, which is the acorn, and there's a stamp that matches that, where you can just obviously punch out an acorn on its own. My hands are all sticky from the glue. So I'm going to line that one up. So just if you're punching a bunch of these or stamping a bunch of these in a row, and then you're going to just punch them out all at once, just be aware that you space them out enough so then the squirrel next to it does not get nipped off by the acorn punch. Punch that one out. There he is. And then now for exciting live video, I'm going to fussy cut this, and then you can see I say there's no comments yet, so nobody has any questions. But that's okay. We'll just get this cut out real quick. And then, but I really like this set because obviously it's in the September through December mini catalog, which has mostly Christmas and fall stamps and products. But honestly, like squirrels, like, yeah, you put them with some fall colors and they're, you know, kind of a fall set. But the sentiments that are in it could be for all year round too, because they've got a birthday sentiment. May you gather happiness. So if someone has some, like, kind of a congratulations, or even you could make this kind of a, maybe an engagement card for, you know, a couple who likes little cute critters or the outdoors. And then, let's see, Can't Wait to See You Again is the one that I'm using today. So I think this one might find its way to my son who's heading back to college in a few days. So I might send this one to him just to let him know that we miss him and we're thinking of him. And then the birthday sentiment is go nuts, it's your birthday. So, I mean, that's pretty funny. So here we go. So we've got our textured notes dies, and seriously, I got so much ink or glue all over my hands. We're going to use a few dimensionals. We're going to pop up the squirrels onto the panel, and then we're going to also pop up the panel. And I don't know, do you guys use a lot of dimensionals, or are you guys judicious with your dimensional use? I like load them up. I know some people are very frugal with their dimensionals, but not me. I want to make sure they stick. And I also don't want the middles, you know, so I try to lay them out so you don't have saggage in the middle. Make sure I stay in the middle of the, oops, I think that one's a little bit close. Let me pull her back. I should not have pressed down so hard, huh? So we'll just, you know what? Sometimes having more dimensionals is not a good thing, right? I'll try that one again. I think they were a little bit too close because we still have something else going on here. More dimensionals here, and of course cover it. I just did recently Stampin' Up did a virtual album scrapbooking retreat, and it was tons of fun, and it was like you could do it live along. I could not keep up with the live since I'm a new scrapbooker. I had to take extra time and stop and pause the videos, but that's fine, whatever. But I learned so much, and one of the Stampin' Up people who was running some of the things, she and I are, I think, dimensional like buddies. She used a ton of dimensionals on her layouts, and I was like so glad to see that because it wasn't just me who uses a ton of dimensionals. And she was unapologetic about how many dimensionals she used. So it was kind of a running joke through the whole event about how many dimensionals she used. So next I'm going to add the dimensionals just to the top edge of the sentiment banner. So then I'm gonna, actually the bottom edge. What am I doing? See, I'm trying to talk and not pay attention. So anyway, I'm gonna put them on the bottom edge. So then you can see when I attach it here, it doesn't make a double bump over the already raised squirrel panel. So it'll just kind of support it there, and you can do glue. For a bigger piece, I would probably put a little bit of glue up here, but these will hold it fine on its own. We're gonna do that. All right, let's see. Now the other stamping we're going to do. Now, if you are not a fussy cutter, you are probably gonna be just appalled at what I'm doing. We're gonna stamp this itty bitty little flower on part of our scrap. And then I'm also gonna stamp a few of the itty bitty flowers on my insert, just because bring some color in. I didn't want to put another big brown squirrel in there. Oh, and then I think I'm gonna do my envelope too while I have it out. So I'm gonna do just one of the little flowers there. Close this up. Oh, do you see my goof? Where did that even come from? Oh, there it is on my thumb, little thumbprint. That's all right. That means it's handmade, right? All right, next we are going to use some blends. I'm just using the light version of Granny Apple Green, Night of Navy, and Melon Mambo. And I'm just going to, I mean, you can barely even see it, but it makes me feel better that it's colored. I don't want to put just a white flower up there. And then I'm going to tuck. So this is just a piece of thick, I guess it's very vanilla, but you can use any. I just put a tab up here to make it easier. And whenever I use blends and I want the envelope to match and I want to color the image that's on the envelope, I tuck one of these inside the envelope. So then when I color the image, it does not bleed through the envelope. So you don't want it to go through, because you know, like when you work the blends markers, they are pretty saturating and they'll go right through your cardstock, and the envelopes are even thinner. So I always make sure I tuck one of these in. So I just keep one of these near my envelope so I can pull that in and out and use it as necessary. So that's just a good little tip. Just if you really like having all your stuff match and you want your envelopes, because you know, no naked envelopes. That's not what we do here. And I don't know, I missed stamping the petal on that one. That's all right. Now we'll go back. I'm kind of going all over the place while I'm talking. Normally I would do all of one color first across, and I moved that out of the way. That's all right. Again, it's handmade, right? I mean, you want it to look nice, but at some point there's going to be mess ups because we're all human, right? All right, and now for the irritating fussy cut, this itty bitty little flower. We'll see what we can do here. I'm gonna start over here. I don't know, are you guys fussy cutting fans or not? I know some people start off really hating it, but the more they practice, the better they get, and then they end up not minding it so much. So maybe it just is, if you don't like it, maybe you just pick an easy shape and practice. Maybe when you're doing your Christmas cards and you want to make multiples and you've got one element that needs to be fussy cut. So you sit down and just kind of knock those out, and maybe you'll learn to enjoy it. I kind of like it, kind of like zone out. This is not the best. This is not my best work, but show you how to kind of do it. It's not too bad, right? Look at how cute that is, that little itty bitty flower. So now we're going to do a little dab of glue on his hands, and then we're just gonna put the flower right there in his hands, like he's handing her the flower. Isn't that so cute? Cute little squirrels. And those of you who are here in Richmond or nearby, maybe you're Richmond Flying Squirrels minor league baseball fans, and maybe you need to get this stamp set to make some cards for the other fans in your life. For maybe, you know, Nutsy, the mascot. He's got his cape and his mask, and he does all his antics at the games and stuff. But this is kind of a, we can name this guy Nutsy, and I don't know, there's a girl squirrel mascot too. I don't know what they call her. It's been a while since we've been at games. But maybe you need that in your life to make some squirrel cards. Next, I'm going to add a little bow over here just to balance, and then just to bring some attention. So when you're making cards, there's like kind of the design rule to pull your eye kind of across the card and hit the highlights. So I don't know if I necessarily pay that much attention when I'm doing it, and it just ends up that I've done an okay job with my elements, or if I'm more intentional and I don't really even realize it. But I'm going to, and you'll notice when I did the sentiment, I purposely embossed it over to the right a little bit, or to the left. I didn't want to center it because I wanted to add a little dot. And these dots are long retired, I think. They're enamel essential dots, and they're the only navy, I guess, embellishment that I have besides the blend. So I'm going to put one right there. And that's all right. I save all my current new stuff for classes so I don't run out. I'm always paranoid about running out when I have a class. So I use the retired stuff on my own stamping when I'm doing things for fun on my own. So as I was saying, like, you kind of like look at the card, and this kind of brings you across, and then you see the sentiment. So you kind of go on like a diagonal across. I see some glue. I got glue everywhere on this one. And let's see, what's always the final step? The final step is I'm going to stamp my details on the back, because you always flip it over to see where it came from. Hallmark? No, boo. We don't want Hallmark cards. We want handmade cards. So I do my Created by Amanda Mertz. And here we go. Hi, Jill. Thanks so much for joining today. Glad to see you could pop in and see a little preview. Maybe we'll see this stamp set again next week at class. We'll have to see. But there it is. So we've got the Fluffy Squirrel Bundle. Use the punch. I don't know, that's going to probably glare, but let me show you this side. The punch and some baker's twine, and just kind of put it together. So you don't have to stick with fall colors for this, even though it's kind of marketed in the catalog and a fall colors and fall layout, but you could really use any color. So if you really like these colors, Night of Navy, Grainy Apple Green, and Melon Mambo, give those a try. And if you're in my customer Facebook group, Did You Stamp Today Stampers, go ahead and post your card using those colors. I'd love to see what you're creating at home. And before I sign off here, I'm going to show just a couple more cards that I've made with this set. So this one is one that I purposely did more of a fall layout. I used the acorn up here on the pecan pie with darker ink, early espresso ink, to just kind of make my own pattern. This is some new, let's see, I have to pull it out so I get the name right, some new designer series paper, and this is going to be an online exclusive set of papers, and that's also going to be released in September, Gathering Together. And then I've got the sentiment stamped on the crushed curry, and then I use this little accent stamp that's in the stamp set, this little crosshatch stamp, to do my own pattern on the cloud cover. And then I've got the little squirrel holding his little acorn. So that's one that I've done. Let's see, we'll spread them out so maybe you can see them all at the same time. And then this one is a clean and simple one I did the other day for Stampin' Challenge that I follow, and always need kind of guy birthday card. So I used a bit of Cloud Cover Designer Series paper just cut it on an angle, and did the sentiment in Secret C. So these are also all in colors that are on sale right now. So we've got Cloud Cover, Secret C is the dark blue, and then the package is has a Timid Tiger bow. So I've just cut that one I fussy cut just like I did the flower here, and just popped that up in his hands, and then added a few flat dots and did that, and then had a little gift inside and on the envelope. So this is just a really quick, you could like count up how many birthdays you have in the month and knock them all out and just swap out the colors of paper and, you know, what color you wanted to color the packages. So here are three inspirations for your future stamping when you can order the Fluffy Squirrel Bundle. If you are a demonstrator, you can do your pre-order now. If you want to be a demonstrator, you could sign up and then you can get pre-order benefits and order it early as well. Thanks so much for coming to watch. I'm glad you all have joined me, and if you got here late, you can go back and watch the beginning. I went over some announcements, especially the product announcements that Stampin' Up! Has just told us about, so I hit on those, so go back and you can rewatch that for all the information and see the card from the beginning get made. So thanks so much for coming, and I hope to make this a weekly event. So take care, and thanks for watching. Bye.